Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the eSports Report, presented by the Xbox One. Benson, Max, and JP at the desk for today's show as we go full Gfinity recap mode. What did you guys miss this weekend? A lot of stuff, evidently. It was a really good weekend and a great event. For now, though, we're at the 6th placing team from the event, which was Epsilon EU, not Epsilon NA. Bear that in mind. Here's a quick look at some black silhouettes and two faces. Joe, Madcat, the faces, and Rated and Reedy. Currently, no images of them, but this squad, fantastic performance from them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come out, plays top 8. You know, people were wondering why this team got invited over maybe Epsilon NA, you know, but...
well, I mean, Epsilon NA doesn't look like they can buy one in the Pro League.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, but Rise got an invite, so Rise are 1 win over Epsilon.
Ooh, shot.
Dude, that 1 win is clearly the difference.
It was over Epsilon. It was over Epsilon.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, Epsilon EU played really well. You know, they're doing really well. They did really well in the Gfinity EU Pro League as well. Madcat, after coming back from Season 2 in North America, just absolutely tearing it up. Like Ben said, top 1 Val.
In Europe.
In Europe. So
in Europe.
Let's take a look at their game mode.
Make sure we include that.
Don't be doing that to me, Max. Don't be doing that.
But yeah, take a look at Epsilon EU's game mode stats. Hardpoint, a 3-3 record. You know, they lose by an average of 8.83 points. Their team KD, not quite a 1, just a 0.98. But Search and Destroy, that is their best game mode all weekend long, going 4-2, winning by almost an average of 2 rounds, and their team KD of 1.16.
Yeah, and one of those was the Game 5 versus ON.
Right.
I'm not sure if they also lost the first game, Game 2 against ON, but it could have been.
Not sure.
But they did really well in S&D this weekend.
I mean, you look at their uplink now.
Yeah.
Disastrous.
At
1-3, score difference of nearly 3.5 points.
Okay, I don't want to say this, but like, let's think back to like Orlando, right?
Yo, he doesn't want to say this, JP.
Like
He doesn't.
Like, are any EU players, like any EU teams, good at uplink? Like,
Madcat.
other than Madcat,
Teams or players?
teams and players, I guess. Like, do EU players?
I mean, they were mentioning
all
that.
I'm saying is, pre-patch, European teams were dominating.
Where you could
uplink.
pass it like 100 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yo, you saw like TCM like playing like tic-tac football. It was
playing
sick. It was like,
green
yo,
man
1-2, 1-2, man on, man on, man on. It was insane. And then
No.
North America.
And then UX Orlando happened.
Basically, honestly, the reason behind that at the very beginning was because North Americans like refused to play the game, and then they realized that hey, there's actually a lot of teamwork involved. We should probably play this because it isn't getting removed anytime soon.
Right.
North Americans started playing it, and then they got really good at it.
I think at the beginning it was more like EU teams were playing it based off of teamwork using the passing feature, yet the NA teams were making plays based on one specific ball carrier and then 3 guys just slaying around around him.
It's funny how uplink has actually developed all year. Like now it's very much, all right, where is the drone spawn? Everyone fled past that. Last guy picks up drone.
Yeah.
Pick up kills that way.
Before it was first guy pick up drone, come back, wait for your teammates, and then...
Right.
You know what's really funny about that? Think about football in EU. You're using the passing. And you look at American football, and you have like a running back holding the ball with your defenders pushing the team out.
Where the hell are you going?
That is crazy. Think about that.
Think about
Think about what?
Using the passing feature versus 3 defenders holding on to 1 guy holding the ball. You don't get that?
Well,
How much you want to bet that had an influence on how they
Yo,
played?
basketball, there are 5 people on the court.
I'm not talking about basketball.
Yo, you know what had an effect? Quidditch, man.
Bro.
You send that one guy trying to catch that snitch.
Quaffle, dude.
The quaffle, man. Trying to beat him down. Quidditch.
Think about it.
That could, honestly, at the end of the year, I'm going to do one of like a top 10 stupidest things ever said on ESR.
Why?
That's going in my top 10.
Embos and Saints, they play together.
Think about American football.
I know for a fact.
Think about American football and EU football. Think about it.
That's like saying, well, what happens when Tom Brady passes the ball? Like, what?
No, but it's like the running feature. You have a running back with 3 defenders slaying out for you so you can reach the touchdown.
What are they doing? Like,
you're making the blocks for your team.
you make cuts in football.
I'm done with
You
this,
make cuts in
man.
football. You do the same thing.
Yeah, but you're using a passing most of the time with your foot. Dude, you guys, I can't do this.
You can't kick the drone.
The comparison here is basketball. Like, there is nothing closer than basketball.
I'm talking about how the NA teams played at the start and how the EU teams played at the start. They resembled both footballs, EU and NA.
KJP.
Okay.
Soccer.
Okay. Please
Soccer.
chat. Please inform these guys on how to play sports.
Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at the player who disappointed in the player who stood out a little bit. Mercat shining with a 1.18 KD, Slay rating of 34.71. Impressive stats, all authorized respawns of 1.17 and a 1.20. Reedy really pooped the bed a little bit, 0.89. You know, doesn't manage to reach 30 kills per game. Negative in hardpoint and negative in uplink. Really, I think if this team was making any change, I think it would be Reedy to go. Max, what do you reckon?
I mean, I don't think you really make a change unless, like, someone else, like, you just got rid of Marky B.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Marky B, like, I don't know if you can't trade really back for him to fill in for Reedy. That'd be kind of weird.
Push good.
Why
not?
No, that'd be kind of weird.
European teams change all the time.
All the time, I guess. But yeah, take a look at Epsilon versus ON here. You know, this uplink, they finished top 8. They are absolutely destroyed here in this uplink by ON, which is shocking because you have, you know, you're up 2-0 in the series. Like, okay, I'll close out ON here. But they couldn't hang for some reason in this game mode against ON.
Why do you think that is? Like, is it just that
Owen
difference?
did really good in uplink.
Is it that difference between American sports
Owen's good at
European
uplink.
sports, JP?
Is it Ronaldo versus Brady, or?
I mean, we saw Optic Nation in the Pro League. They beat ISO by like 15 points in 3 minutes.
Yeah, ISO is really bad at uplink.
They scored 10 in a minute and a half. Mochila finished the first half at 10-0.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was like the quickest uplink ever, right?
It was like the quickest uplink ever.
Confirmed?
Probably. I don't have confirmation on.
Like ISO just like getting 20-0'd for some reason. Like, they got 20-0'd by OG at Dallas, right?
I mean, Havoc said on the interview in the ESR, he's like, we need to fix uplink.
You bring Parasite on, they win uplink that night. They win their series. You know what they do the next day? They drop Parasite.
And then they lose uplink all over again.
Yeah. But I mean, Mad Cat, you know, only person on Epsilon to have a positive KD versus ON, you know, really important for him to do that. But, you know, in game 5, just kind of pooped the bed, went 1-8, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, Reedy, you know, in uplink a 0.83, a 0.92 KD specifically against ON, can't be really struggling in, you know, a closeout game right here.
Right. And the scary thing about this whole series was Epsilon was up 2-0. They'd won the first hard point. They'd won the S&D.
And they're up 6-5 here, too.
The hard work has literally been done. They had 3 maps and kind of threw them away. They should have arguably won this series, but Optic Nation persevered and managed to put some numbers on the board. Final minute and a half for the first side, and you can see just a little bit of a comeback start to occur for the boys on ON. But, I mean, look at the scoreboard. 4-10 from Rated right now. 8-11 from Rated.
Mad Cat's
16-9. Like, at that point, you need a...
Mad Cat's like, what are you guys doing? Just, like, you know, shoot the people.
I feel like every time he's played North America, he's had, like, some of the worst luck.
Mad Cat?
Like, you look at TCM at X Games. How well did Mad Cat play?
He dropped, like
and his teammates look like they never played the AW before.
Against TK, he dropped, like, 42 or 40... I think it went 42 and 26 something.
No, it was like better. It was like 42 and 19 or something like that. It was crazy.
And then just like from there on out, it was just like, yep, sorry, you have no help.
It's strange not seeing Mecca on a like massively high caliber team.
I mean, he's always on a high caliber EU team.
But I'm talking about high caliber worldwide team.
Well, I mean, we all were saying Epsilon back at Champs were going to place top 8. Kind of just bombed out.
Yeah, that's true.
They were in a tough pool.
They didn't even make it out of pool, right?
Yeah, they lost to TK and SB. No, they beat SB.
No, they beat us. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They lost.
beat them.
Yeah, they lost.
Dito was like, hey.
Oh, right, yeah. Yo, you don't predict us to win out of pools. Watch out, we're gonna beat the best EU team here. And then the best EU team was aware.
Got him.
But yeah, Mad Cat's always on a top EU team. It's just like he could be on a top NA team. It's just, you know, where does he go?
Where would he go? Let's talk about that for a second.
Just figure out things with TCM.
That's not gonna happen.
Just figure it out.
That's not gonna happen. I feel like every top team has a top BAL player, right? Teams that struggle, guess what? The BAL players can't compete.
I mean, even like the clear example is Mochila on ON. Like Mochila coming to this team has changed it so drastically.
Yeah.
It's insane how much of a drastic change is.
And he's playing really well.
Right.
Carrying an S&D.
He's playing really.
Carrying and respawn.
Oh, yeah. Mochila had a great S&D. We'll get into that later, but so did Miracles. Miracles played out of his mind in this event.
This is ironically the one map that kind of turned around for Rainbows. He had an absolutely abysmal hard point.
Yeah.
It was like double, nearly
Triple neg.
triple neg in the hard point. And then the S&D didn't play well at all. I think he went 1-7, I think, in the S&D.
Something like that.
It was poor performance
struggling.
either way. And then it comes out 21-13 in the uplink, playing extremely well this map. Something that they really kind of needed. And you can just see the pressure really being applied on Epsilon at this point. Down 11 to 6 points with 3 minutes left, and this pretty much was the start of their demise of the series.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to say you peg, Epsilon to win the hardpoint, but Epsilon play EU players play really fast in hardpoint, and then you're able to take the S&D, like right here, like okay, Epsilon won 3-0, like as long as you're not going up against, you kind of dodged a bullet with FaZe and Envy having to play each other first round. Like you don't have to play.
Bullet. You dodge a missile.
Yeah. You dodge like an atomic bomb, and then you dodge OG as well, which is also an atomic bomb. Like, we're not saying OG is bad. You have to play, Elevate and Infuse, and then you get Optic Nation. You're like, okay, this is definitely a winnable matchup. Let's win this and place top 4. You can't close it out. Just very disappointing if you're an Epsilon fan.
Yeah. Minute 59 left. As we kind of said, they lose this, they then go on to lose the hard point, and then the game 5 search and destroy, and that is an end to Epsilon's run at Gfinity. But still, another congratulations to them placing 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, in their group, they lose Rise for they beat Rise the first time around, and they beat them the second time.
Yeah, times.
It was 3-2, then
3-2, 3-0.
Yeah, so to come out of that group, you were predicting them Rise to come out. I don't know what kind of sauce or mayonnaise or clams or any TCM lingo that you want to throw out there. So are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I'm definitely not.
But yeah, top 8. Can't really complain if you're Epsilon.
Agreed. Moving on though, 5th place, another European powerhouse, Vitality Storm. This was the one European team which I didn't really think was going to play that well this weekend, and came out and proved a lot of people wrong. Tommy, Josh, PD, and Watson. Some pretty big names in Europe. Of course, a lot of people recognize Tommy. Josh played his fair share in North America.
And Ghost.
PD and Ghost, and Watson, aka Botson. Vicento, were very hyped up about him.
Yeah.
As what started off as a horrible rivalry turned into great friendship. If you remember pre-champs, they played in the 5K, and Vicento wasn't too happy with what.
Who is this guy? Like, he's such a warrior.
He got a little bit angry, let's just say that. But yeah, good friends now. It's what we like to see. We'll take a look at the game modes, records. They go 2-2, 8-6 in map record. Hardpoint pretty poor though, JP, at 2-4.
Yeah, I mean, that was really the only kryptonite that they had. I mean, you see S&D 3-1, Uplink 3-1. It was just the hardpoint struggles throughout the weekend, losing by an average score of about 22 points.
Right.
Which is pretty big compared to the other teams that we look at.
We also heard, they're listening against OG. They just, honestly, it felt like every communication that was coming out of them was just like, one shot, he's one shot. He's one shot. Formal one shot. Crimsix one shot. They weren't just finishing kills.
You're missing.
Yeah,
aim higher.
Scumpy's weak. Get in the hill.
Right.
Formal's weak. But yeah, just not getting the crucial kills. Important too. Really win the hardpoint. So S&D though 3-1, kind of their saving grace, and then Uplink too 3-1. So
I mean, the S&D and Uplink only losing 2 Optic.
Right.
If you think about it.
And the uplink was an OT as well.
They shouldn't have lost the uplink.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have lost that.
That's a good point. Crim makes a hero play there. And speaking of that, we'll watch that in a little bit. We'll take a look at our player comparison though. Who shined? Watson, 1.23, 32, close to a 33 Slayer rating, and a 1.23 hardpoint, 1.28 uplink KD. Josh though, disappointing a little bit. Negative with a 0.84, hardpoint is 0.79, uplink is 0.76. And those numbers just not going to be good enough against any top North American talent.
Nope.
If you have one player that does that against a FaZe, an OG, or an Envy, you're going to get smashed.
Yeah. I mean, Watson, probably the best EU player, in my opinion, at the tournament.
Better than Mad Cat?
Wow.
I think so. He was doing really well.
Better than LXT or anybody?
He was in the top 10 in KD, in Slayer, and in S&D.
Did you see LXT's 9th streak on Detroit?
He was doing really well. Benson's giving you a weird look right now.
All right. I mean, there was a lot of hype around Watson. People saying, hey, Watson should come over to North America. Would he be able to compete against North America's finest and be this consistent?
I don't know.
That's the thing with the European players have never been consistent.
I mean, I don't know where he would fit in.
Yeah, that'd be a weird fit in as well.
It would have to be a full EU squad really to come over, I feel like, if he was to come over. Everyone was saying he's the next player, but, I mean, where does he go?
Yeah. Where does he go?
Nowhere. I think he just stays in the EU.
Something to give yourself an easy 2-point play that kind of
Wow.
No, I'm saying, like, what? Like,
Shots fired.
it's not shots fired at all. It's just
Yo,
no rosters are.
TK?
What?
No.
No.
Rise?
Matt
I don't
Cat,
think
TK,
I don't think he lands on a team in S3 at all. I mean,
No? So we don't get to see him over in North America?
Nah, maybe not in AW.
That's sad. I don't know if he would be able to compete that
Oh,
frequently.
so hold on, I'm shots fired because he's making a roster, and you, I don't know if he can compete.
yo.
Like,
Yeah, make you look like the bad guy, and then I agree with making you look like the bad guy. Tactics.
Tactics.
Tactics, Max, tactics. But right now, Vitality going up against OG. Again, you know, one of OG's worst uplink. I mean, their worst uplink, comeback uplink. I feel like this was the map Vitality needed to
Yeah,
take.
they needed to take
after
this one.
stealing, after taking the S&D.
You're 1-1,
Yeah,
right. You're 1-1
like
in the
going up
series.
2-1 versus Optic.
If
Like, that's huge.
That's huge.
If Vitality
man.
take the uplink, it goes to a game 5. Like, who knows? Like, Vitality destroyed them in S&D.
How scary is that to think?
Right.
Like, Vitality's tournament could have been so unbelievably different. Massively different if they just didn't kind of... I don't want to say they choked it.
No,
But
they,
then
they choked this game. This game they choked. This game you choked.
You did this.
You did this!
It was an unbelievable ending, though. Again, as an uplink game,
Top 5 from the weekend.
I feel like, yeah, it's up there. It really is. Tommy makes a sick play right at the very end with a nice little pass. And you can see Vitality now just rallying up a couple of points.
Going on the comeback.
Europeans using that passing feature,
Yeah.
JP, just like European football.
See, now you're getting it.
Are you getting it now, Mr. Krabs?
Enough with the Mr. Krabs.
But, you know, back to the player who disappointed, Josh.
Yeah.
Lowest hardpoint KD on Vitality. You know, really their kryptonite all weekend long. You don't say, hey, Vitality could take a hardpoint off OG. You know, like I said, that listening, they were just kind of scrambled all over the place. But, you know, if they can take the uplink and they looked good in S&D, like I said, only maps dropped to Optic, so who knows? Maybe if they pull off Game 3, they can beat Optic. I'm not
Did
gonna
they
say
beat
that.
Epsilon in the
I mean,
groups?
you're not wrong, though. That's the thing.
Vitality didn't play Epsilon in group.
Oh, they were in
They
groups?
lost to
Never
TCM
mind.
the first time in the
So
beat.
who do you think would win, Vitality or Epsilon EU?
Be tough.
Vitality.
Yeah, you think they're
Yeah,
subs better?
I think Vitality would
Their subs are more
take it.
consistent.
That would be a really close series.
I mean, let's take a look, right? Vitality go through, what, 2-4 in the hardpoint.
Right.
Epsilon go even 3-3.
It's a one game.
S&D is a 3-1 for Vitality, a 4-2 for Epsilon.
They played more games.
Uplink is 3-1 for Vitality and a 1-3 for Epsilon.
But you also got to think, or you also got to note that Uplink is 3-1 and S&D is 3-1. One they lost to OG. The Uplink they lost to OG.
And
They actually won the S&D, right?
Yeah, they won the
S&D.
They lost the S&D to TCM.
Right.
Which is bizarre. Also to note, the average score difference in hardpoint for Vitality was -21 as opposed to just -8.
Oh, they also got blown out by OG
Right.
as well. Both
Which is
times.
definitely
That's gonna
bit of a factor.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I would put my money on Vitality. And that's really bizarre for me to say because I'm so pro MacCat that I want to say Epsilon. But I just think Vitality's team play is better than Epsilon's. Like, as a team, they're better.
I mean, so like Vitality play OG, right? They throw this map away. Spoiler alert. And then,
Let me ask you this. If Epsilon played Vitality, if Epsilon played OG, would it have been this close?
no.
No.
Then there you go.
But I mean, Epsilon also were up 2-0 against Optic Nation.
Correct.
Epsilon choked a lead against Optic Nation too. So yeah, I think Vitality would win. But
Epsilon choked the lead. Woo-hoo, that's a polite way of saying what they did.
Damn.
They basically had the game served on a platter and decided they didn't want to eat it.
Wow.
I don't know why you want to eat a platter.
The game was served on a platter.
I know, but
you
I'm
don't
saying-
actually eat.
No, I'm saying you got a
I
platter.
just picture like Max now eating the plate. that
a metal platter.
He's like, God damn it, man! This doesn't taste as good as I thought it would. But yeah, final 20 seconds of this game. Vitality down 2. They need a play, and up steps one of the players who, whenever is in need of a play, he's going to provide it. It's Tommy. gets away with the drone, finds a
That
teammate,
was
nice
sick.
pass. He gets the extra health bonus, and Watson jumps in for 2.
Some composure right there, too.
That's something about Tommy, right? His back's against the wall. He's a player who is going to make that play every single time.
It was a LeBron move. It was kind of like, I don't want to take the shot here. You do it. And he threw the ball to Watson. He was like, you better make it.
But, I mean, he made the play, though.
Oh, no, he made the play, yeah. But he had the trust in his team.
It's like
to
he
do
just
it.
broke 2 players' ankles and then passed the ball.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, alley-oop.
Yo.
this ball.
He was stuck.
That's a good
He
comparison.
was stunned out of his mind, too. I don't know how he got away.
Now we're moving into overtime,
Right.
and
This
it's
is
actually
where it gets pretty sad.
yeah. I mean, they had
Rip.
this. They had this, man.
All right, let's assess what actually happens.
They okay, so they score in I think it's 28 seconds
Which is
Yeah.
pretty quick.
on bad side. No, this is good side. You're good
They
side.
score good.
Yeah.
You see, they try to go bottom middle and make a play call.
They
Tommy,
score in 28
Tommy's
seconds.
like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
I love this. He kind of baits out, makes
Yeah.
everything think he's going to go bottom middle, allows his teammates to spawn close to glass, and then this is where he's like, hey guys, you better slay out. This is our moment to shine. Tommy with the drone jumps over towards the little pit area, jumps up, and hey, easy 1.3 now.
That was a nice shot,
This is the
too.
question.
28 seconds.
This is the
A little
question,
too
first
much-
of all.
A little too much juking, in my opinion.
Could he have A, gone for a 2-point play there? Yes or no? Is it too
I wouldn't.
risky?
I wouldn't have risked it. No,
I think he was
because
playing a little
28
too
seconds
safe.
is marginally fast. I mean,
he was juking a little too much. He could have gone for like an AC throw from a little farther away.
He needed his teammates to slay.
OG
Right.
ends up scoring, and that was a big
He
kill.
made the
First of all.
safe and right play, but just right here, just
OG
like,
ends up scoring in 21 seconds.
Crim
They had
was absolutely
7 seconds to spare.
yeah. There's one player at green right now. Who's
I didn't
like,
think Krim was going to take this shot because remember in the ESR a few weeks back, he was like, I don't trust my 1-point
Oh,
throws.
balls
I'm
life.
going to go and
Ball is
score
life.
this
Goes for
2-pointer.
2, tries to slide,
I was
gets
so
taken out.
scared when he tried to throw this. I was like, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss. He's got it.
Imagine if he like botched it.
Censor.
Oh, that would
They
stink.
were worse than censor.
No, nothing will ever be worse than that. But yeah,
Krim
congratulations
and
to
Scump
Vitality.
combined for 77 kills in that.
Yeah.
True.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Ultimately, Vitality lose that series, of course, as you would expect to OG. But again, massive congratulations to Vitality, 5th place, a lot higher than people would have had in the prediction show. So Europe coming out with a pretty decent showing at Gfinity. For now, though, quick commercial break. When we return, we're down to our final 4 teams from Gfinity.